Welcome to Tuttle Talk on 1190 AM. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Andy Tuttle.
Good morning and welcome to Tuttle Talk here on the Real Estate Radio Network, where we teach you what the rich and the banks do, not what they tell you to do, and where we dispel the misconceptions of financial wellness and the local real estate market, and where we show you where focusing and practicing a few key principles really can help you focus on the other important areas of your life, like your friends, your family, and the community. It's the most important hour of radio every Saturday right here on Clear Channel 1190 AM, and we start at 11 o'clock every Saturday. I am your host, Andy Tuttle. This is the great state of Texas. I'm so happy to be with you, so happy that you are joining me. You can call me at my off-air number at 214-736-9696, 214-736-9696. You can also email me at questions@andytuttle.com. And don't forget, become a fan of the show. We love that. Love to be able to share good information with you, what's going on in the market on a regular basis. And you can hear all of the good things that are happening at facebook.com/Tuttle Talk. You can also listen online at dfw1190am.com. And don't forget, that iHeartRadio app is awesome. You can have it on your phone, or if you have an iPad or a tablet, you can do it there. You can have it online as well. It's a great way to listen not only to this show, but a ton of different shows, actually. So summer has been hot, but it's finally fading away. We are officially done with summer. Yay! And bills, though, have been expensive. So wouldn't it be nice to get a little relief from that? Well, you can get it if you text 72727. Get out your phone. Put in the text 72727, and then in the comment section, type Andy T, no spaces, ANDYT as in Texas, and you will enter to win a free month of electricity. And this is it. I mean, you have till the end of the show to put this in. So get the number, dial it, 72727, and put in Andy T, and you will be entered to win a free month of electricity, sponsored by the great Utility Concierge. By the way, you got to go to utilityconcierge.com. Look them up. It is a great free service to you to either reprice your electricity, your utilities, your security, your internet, all that stuff, or if you're buying a home, have someone to be able to take care of all that for you, so you just go in the home and your lights are on and everything's hooked up. That's what you want. That's what they do for you at no cost to you. And we're back. You are listening to Tuttle Talk on the Real Estate Radio Network. I am your host, Andy Tuttle. You can reach me at 214-736-9696 or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tuttle Talk. You can also catch all shows at andytuttle.com. And don't forget, I'm telling you this a lot this show because this is the last show. You want free electricity? You want to have a month of free electricity and not pay that bill? You've been paying big bills. I know you do. Get out your phone then. Dial 72727 and then type in Andy T, ANDYT, no spaces, to enter to win a free month of electricity. Our friends over at Utility Concierge have done this great service for us and for you. Not much time left, guys, like 20-ish minutes. So get it in there, 72727. I have two wonderful realtors with me today. Mr. Chris Ohlig, he is with Halo Realty Group. He has a focus on the Colony and Frisco. He was actually the top rookie in top production in 2009 for his old company before he came over to Halo. He has served on the Agent Leadership Council at that company, and he is even a part of the Collin County Young Professionals Network. Now he sits on that committee as well with me, and he's a multi-million-dollar producer. Chris, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Andy.
Yes, of course, my pleasure. I have another excellent realtor, also way prettier than Mr. Ohlig, no offense.
It's all right.
Tessa Larson is with Keller Williams Plano. She earned actually 2 business degrees at the University of North Texas. Great work. And she has made some television appearances on Hot on Homes, and she was on another site like that. What was the name of that one?
Landon Homes.
Landon Homes. And she was also the top realtor of the month, like on listings, right, at your old company?
Correct.
All right, that's fantastic. She has developed a contact agreement with her clients that we'll talk about. I think is very neat, separates her in the marketplace, also very involved in the community, and serves on the YPN with both myself and Chris. Tessa, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, since I mentioned YPN twice. It was not a coincidence. I teed that up.
Nice.
How do you guys feel about the YPN? Nick Klein, if you're listening, don't get mad at us.
It's been great, actually. This year was our first year. We kicked it off in 2011. We have a dynamic group of people here in Collin County that really know what they're talking about, and we've brought a lot to the table. It's fresh. I think we're up for an award, even on the national level, for what we've done. I could be speaking too soon, but
probably. Most of the time, Tessa, doesn't Chris speak too soon?
Always.
Okay. Yeah, anyway, so it's great. No, I love it. I love working with you, Andy, Tessa. We have a great group, so
Absolutely.
It's gone really good.
Yeah, Tessa, how do you feel about how the YPN has gone as far as your expectations versus what you think it's doing in the community for realtors?
I think that it absolutely exceeds my expectations, just as far as we have an absolute dynamic group. So many people have brought so much to the table. I mean, just the experience, the quality, everything that people have that have come to this table is just way more than I expected. And I think that, and all in all, I think that we are truly changing the face of real estate in being young professionals, and what we expect out of the market and our clients and stuff like that is just huge. I
think so too. I think there's a lot of innovation. That's what I like about being a part of the Young Professionals Network, is that you always have to have your marketing and your strategies aligned with what's going on in the market. And this is a changing market. And now, of course, going forward, the echo boomers, right, are going to be the biggest buyers in the marketplace over the next several years. And so a little different look. They want different things, right? Everybody's looking at things online now. There's a whole different strategy and a need that the client has. And what I like that you guys are doing, and Nick Klein and the people at CCAR have been so kind to organize and put on and let me be a part of, is a program that really gives back to the community and helps the realtors network together, right? Because a great client for you is not only the buyer, but another agent that might have a house that you have listed that they need to buy that, or vice versa, right? And so it's a great way to network and connect, that I just glad to be a part of that. So thank you, everyone. Who else do we need to thank at the YPN? We need just like a Academy Award speech.
Stephanie Allen's great.
Stephanie Allen's
No,
good.
actually, everyone on the board's awesome. But CCAR, the Collin County Association of Realtors, done a great job backing us, supporting us. The charities that we've given the money to, that we've raised in our events, I think they're appreciative. So check out the website, and it'll have links to those charities if you feel like giving back as well. So
isn't that CCAR.net?
CCAR.net.
CCAR.net, Collin County Association of Realtors. CCAR.net. You can look up the charities they give to. That's a great idea to do that. Okay, Tessa, I am interested in this.
All right.
You have a nice little unique agreement called the contact agreement you have with your clients. What's that all about?
Well, the contact agreement was put in place because over and over you hear clients complain about how they don't hear from their realtors. There's not enough communication. People drop the ball and whatnot. So I put in place this contact agreement. It's a form within one of my presentations, and it just goes over what time you want to be contacted. For example, if you are selling a house, my contact agreement with you would be like Tuesday at 5 p.m. every Tuesday, or once a month, text, email, phone call, whatever you prefer, that I would go ahead and get in contact with you on that date and let you know what was new with your listing, what direction we're going with selling your house, if we need to take a price reduction, if we need to stage it better, whatever feedback we have. Every Tuesday, I'm going to be in contact with you at that time. Not necessarily Tuesday, but whatever day and time
only
you
on
pick.
Tuesdays. You only do calls on Tuesdays.
No, whatever day you pick, if it's once a month, twice a week, whatever, I will call you at that time every week.
Sundays at 11 p.m.
Absolutely.
Oh, my gosh.
And you know what? I'm going to ask you how you are, what's going on. Let's talk about your house.
You're going to wake me up. Why are you calling me?
You asked me to.
That's right. Oh, I forgot about that.
But the contract agreement basically is my agreement with you that we will stay in contact, that there will be communication 100% of the time. As always, you can call me when you need to, as needed. But this is a guaranteed time, 5 o'clock Tuesday. I'm going to call you, pick up your phone. We're going to talk. If there's nothing to talk about, I'm going to ask how you are, what your kids are doing, what's new. Did your dog get out of the vet? I mean, whatever. I'm going to ask you what's going on,
That's right. That's good. I like that, because that is the biggest communication in our industry, because there's just so much going on. Everybody gets into information overwhelm. You need to have something that guarantees that no matter what's happening or not happening, at least they know they're going to get a call. I love that. Good job, Tessa. You're listening to Tuttle Talk on the Real Estate Radio Network. I'm talking with Chris Ohlig, realtor at Halo Realty Group, has his own group, and Tessa Larson over at Keller Williams Plano. Chris, I know you're not just a big producer. You also fancy yourself a little artist. I hear a lot about that.
Do you?
Yes, I do. I mean, it's all from you, but I...
Oh, okay. No, I grew up doing art, It was kind of like my thing. It was my way of expressing myself. I wasn't old enough to work or anything, so I did art to communicate back to my peers. Like you just mentioned, communication is key in this business, any business in life. Communication is the key to success. So I think expressing yourself is a form of communication, and art was my outreach to give back to the people. So
who are some of your favorite artists?
Picasso is probably, I just remember learning about Picasso when I was growing up, and I just absolutely loved him as a painter because he kind of took a boundary that no one would cross and created that abstract, just of a person,
right.
Just abstract art. And
you like some modern artists too, don't you? Like Banks? You told Banksy.
Banksy.
You told me about Banksy. Yeah,
I like Banksy. I guess it's kind of a form that most people probably wouldn't appreciate because it's a form of graffiti art.
Right.
But it's still a form of expression, and people driving down the street, if they see, a sticker on a sign or, a painting on a billboard that shouldn't be there, it still gets them to think about something other than what was, paid to be on that
right.
image.
And I think Banksy even though what I like about Banksy is it's tasteful, and I think in some ways he's got the right idea there, and I like that about it. It's not just rebellious graffiti for that sake. I've actually seen some of your work. You showed me some of it. It's really good. You actually do have a good talent there. Tessa, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. I like his Tupac Shakur one. That was cool.
I didn't see that one. I want to see that one.
It was an unfinished piece. I was doing it for a friend while he was in college, and then it kind of got set to the side, and it has been drawn on multiple times since then. I'm assuming that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, it ended up in my trunk at one point in time. I have no idea how it got there.
Very organic. It's a living piece.
I think I was going to give it to one of your friends because I didn't know what to do with it. So, it's just kind of, I've had a lot of pieces just kind of floated around with me in all the places I've moved, and that was definitely one of them.
So you've been, Tessa,
I just wanted to say Chris is really cool with the fact that he paints all these things, and then people say, "Oh my God, that's awesome! Can I have it?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, take it, cool, whatever." He doesn't care. He's just very passionate about what he does. Today. And then he ends up the next day, and he's like, "Where did that piece go?" But he's generous, he means well.
That is great. Yeah, he means well. He loses all his art and all that hard work. I'm coming to your house to get some of that, and then I'm going to sell it. So, Chris, You've been very successful. You've been a good artist, obviously, but successful in real estate. And besides hard work, I know you work hard, man. I know that you have a reputation for that. But what else do you think sets you apart?
I took the artist in me as an approach to create new things in the marketplace with technology. I've always tried to be innovative with the way I'm marketing, because whether it's art and, again, going back to the communication aspect, you have to be able to reach out to people that normally would not reach out to you because they don't know who you are. So you have to find a way to attract them, whether it's online marketing, whether it's sending out flyers or just talking to people. You have to attract people to you in order to obtain the objective that everybody's trying to reach, which is they're trying to find a house and you're trying to sell them a house. And it's important to
work with those people in a way that, you see how I finished that up? I started to cut you off there, but I just like where you were going with that. I think it's important to work with people in such a way that you meet them where they're at. And that's what I like about good marketing, good innovative marketing right now. We are in a convenience market, and we need to be, you guys, that's why I like young realtors. And you've been in the business a long time, really 3 to 5 years. You learn what you need to learn, and you have a lot of experience, and you're aggressive. And I think that's what helps you understand those people, why they gravitate towards you, is because you are seeking ways to know where they're at and what they need and then finding them, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Tessa, how did you get into real estate?
Well, that's a funny question.
It didn't seem very funny.
It is funny. No, multiple things. I guess as far as ending up at Keller Williams, that would be attributed to Chris, absolutely. But real estate in general.
So Chris recruited you over to Keller Williams.
He did, absolutely.
And then he left there. He's like, "Here you go, I'm out."
Yeah, he
was like your successor. I see.
Yeah, I'm his apprentice. No, but I started in real estate. My dad started in the start of Century 21 back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And had his own office in real estate. Yeah, absolutely. So I've kind of always known about real estate.
It's in your blood.
It is, not by choice some days. But and then my brother-in-law has his own brokerage. My sister works for Ebby.
Okay.
So it's a lot. It's around me a lot, and I have a knack for selling. So real estate just kind of fit, and I really found that out when I worked for a home builder back in about 2005. I worked for a home builder in the area.
Right.
And I really enjoyed watching people build a house and move in, and it was just rewarding emotionally. And I just thought, you know what, this is really what I want to do.
That's good, because that's the right way to get into it, because it's not all about the money. And we'll talk about that in a minute, because it's not as much as everybody thinks. You know, there's a lot of 3%. You know, the agents don't get all that, people, just so you know. It's not what they're getting. There's marketing costs and a billion other costs you don't even know about, because that's not sexy on media. But I want to get into, when you talk about getting into it for the right reasons and getting into the home for the right reasons is what people want. And so you represent Plano. Why is it the right reason? Why is it the right place? What makes Plano special for clients?
Plano has a really good relocation reputation. There's a lot of corporations around the area here in Addison, Plano, you know, just amongst the whole Collin County Metroplex area.
Right.
There's a ton of corporate things. Not only that, we have exemplary schools, you know, very far north. There's a lot of them.
Right.
And so between schools and well-paying jobs, and I mean, it's just really family-orientated. It's safe. You know, Plano came out as the #1 safest city. Was it last year?
Yeah, either this
2010,
year
right?
or 2011.
2010
I think it came out
2011.
2011.
Doesn't
It was
matter.
either way.
The article was it was one of the safest cities to live in. I mean, there's a ton of reasons to live in Plano. The market here is really good. A lot of people have established something, you know, with a family, a home, a job. There's just multiple reasons to live here.
Yeah, Plano is great, Collin County too, and they really created their own. You don't have to go downtown anymore. You can just stay right there in Plano. Plano's got its own cool downtown area. I know it. I love going there all the time off of 15th Street. They got Urban Crust, all it's cool. It's like an old feel, but then you can go up to West Plano. It's a whole different feel.
Right.
But you can stay right in there. It's its own city center, and I love that. Chris, in the Colony and Frisco, I've heard this in different parts of the nation, but in Colony and Frisco, I'm curious, how's the inventory?
The inventory is actually down because a lot of people just don't have the need to sell because that's where the jobs are. You know, so there's not a lot of homes on the market. However, with the wave of people that are moving here for all the new companies that are being relocated here, you got Nebraska Furniture Mart that just broke ground a few days ago. That's bringing, I think, 4,000 construction jobs,
wow,
about 1,800 permanent jobs once that's in place, right there off 121. It's just bringing a lot of people to the area, and since there's not a lot of inventory, a lot of people are pushing into that new home development up north. Like even the Colony, it does have new home sites, but you see a lot in like Castle Hills, Little Elm, North Frisco, Prosper. It's all moving north, and it's primarily new homes that people are wanting to move into for a ton of reasons.
Well, let's hold on that, because I want to get into that. We're going to talk about tips for sellers, because that's a challenge I think sellers face right now.
Absolutely.
Is the pre-existing versus the home builders, and we're going to talk about that. You're listening to Tuttle Talk. I'm speaking with Chris Ohlig and Tessa Larson, both great agents in the area in Plano, Frisco, really the Collin County area. So if you're looking to buy or sell, or you may be in the market, or know someone that may be in the market in the next few months, call us at 214-736-9696, and I'll personally connect you to them. Now, one of the goals of the show, guys, is to offer up good practical tips for buyers and sellers. So, Tessa, what should buyers be doing? Why should buyers be buying right now? I guess I should ask.
Okay, great question. Andy, I guess a lot of reasons, and I'm just going to give you the top 5 for right now. Number 1 is the supply is shrinking. The number of houses on inventory is shrinking, and I know Chris would agree with me on that. Not only that, but the housing increase for price is on the rise. The prices for homes is on the up and up. They said that it's projected, in one of the articles I just read last week, said that by 2016, house prices will be 10% increased. That's a huge amount.
Huge. So this would say it's the perfect storm. Lowest rates, lowest prices. Get in.
Absolutely. So you should be buying low and selling high, which is my third point. You know, you're people who said real estate is where the profit's at. This is not the better time to absorb all of those things. Fourth, rent is skyrocketing. It's expensive to rent a house. You can make a mortgage payment, and I could go on all day about this. I do a ton of leases, and I mean, it's insane that people will walk in and pay $2,000 to rent a house, but they won't buy.
Rent a house or an apartment. And the only thing, it's just like you can get into a great home right now, pay less, have tax deductibility, have your own place.
Absolutely.
Right.
There's multiple reasons you should own over buy, rent over buy, but
Buy over rent.
whatever.
It doesn't matter. Details.
Semantics.
Yes.
Lastly,
Tomato.
like you said, that the interest rates, which you got to call Andy Tuttle for, but interest rates are so low. I mean, this is historic lows. There isn't any better time than now to get an interest rate and get into a house.
So what about what would you say the first thing a buyer should do? And we got just a few more minutes here, but I want to talk about what are some good things for buyers looking to make that first step. What would you suggest they do, Chris?
The first thing that you really have to not let go of is location, because if you're being relocated here for work, and there's a lot of relocation, that's kind of why I'm touching on it. If you're being relocated here for work, you really have to pay attention to where the distance that you're going to be driving, because of all the construction that's taking place, even with the roads, the widening of roads, the expansion of roads to accommodate all the people. You don't want to be too far from your work. But at the same time...
Or have your wife too far from her work. That's how it is in my house. I could drive 2 hours, but as long as she's close, we're okay.
But on the flip side, more people are starting to work from home. So it might be more beneficial for that person to live just a little farther north or a little farther east, outside of where they typically would work, to get a better price, more home, more land for their money, and not have to worry about commuting regularly, because most jobs are going to home-based jobs.
That's good, and we are spreading that out, and that is a good point that you make. Also, if you work with an expert realtor, work with someone who's not a part-timer, you're going to get yourself into trouble. There's a lot of things we don't have time to get into today, but when you work with someone that's part-time, that's what you're going to get out of it. You need to work with someone who understands your market. You need to get pre-approved up front, right, guys?
Absolutely.
You got to do that because you got to know what you're really buying. Don't wait till the last minute. There's a lot of things you can do to improve your financial situation, improve your score, which improves your terms, but you got to do that up front. In our last minute here, I want to ask you, Tessa, people talk about election year. For sellers, let's switch to sellers for tips real quick. Should people be concerned that it's an election year, so they hold on selling because it's an election year?
Not really. Honestly, I've run into this problem a couple times, and people buy and sell all year long. People have to move for jobs, families, schools, whatever the reason may be. And election or not, it doesn't matter. Prices are going to increase regardless if they move or not, or inventory is going to shrink regardless if they move or not. And I just really feel like the election year shouldn't have as much to do as people are making it out to be. And that may be just an objective that they're throwing at me that we can overcome. But overall, I really don't feel like the election year is a huge, significant impact on whether you need to sell your house or not.
Just all the talking heads just tell you that. So you heard it here first. Local expert, you don't need to listen to that. It does sell. It's not going to, you think it's going to change after the election year? That's not going to happen. Yes, rates are lower in an election year. They've also been lower the last 3 years. Okay, it's spiked with or without an election. So don't think of that. Chris, any final thoughts in 30 seconds that you have for sellers?
If you search online, don't take it for everything that you see. A lot of the stuff online is going to be, get some research from online, but talk to your professionals in the area, whether it's a realtor, a mortgage expert, because the rates you find online probably aren't accurate to that area. The information you find on homes online might not be accurate up to the minute, or some of the places could have been sold a week ago, a month ago. There's a lot of ad-based sites out there that generate income from people visiting. So do some searching online, but still reach out to your local people.
That's the way to do it. You're listening to Tuttle Talk. I hope you've enjoyed this hour. Tessa, Chris, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. Guys, don't forget to get your boots on. Support our troops. Go to bootcampaign.com. Buy your pair. We wear them the first Friday of every month. Show us your pictures. We want to see them. Support all kinds of Wounded Warrior and other soldier, troop, military charities. Please do that. Also, text 72727 and text Andy T and get your chance to win a free month of electricity, sponsored by Utility Concierge. If you'd like to discuss anything related to today's topics with me directly, call the show's off-air number, 214-736-9696. Or if you're looking to buy or sell, call Call that number, 214-736-9696. I will introduce you to one of two fantastic agents here with me today. Next week, I'm going to bring a luxury home specialist on the show who also happens to have a pretty nice golfing skin on the wall, so you'll want to join us for that discussion. I'd like to thank John Allen, Randy Nichols, and my special guests, Chris and Tessa, for joining me. I'd also like to thank Danny Miles, our production director, and the entire family here at KFXR. That's it for today. Race Talk with Pete Hronis is coming up next. This is Andy Tuttle for the Real Estate Radio Network. We'll be back here next Saturday from 11 to 12 right here on KFXR. Don't forget, you can listen on the radio, podcast, the website. You can listen on your iHeartRadio app. So thank you so much for listening to Tuttle Talk, where we're making financial intelligence a priority in the community. Have a great weekend.
Randall Nichols is a registered representative of and offers securities, investment advisory, and financial planning services through MNL Investor Services, LLC. Member SIPC, 5080 Spectrum Drive, Suite 902W, Addison, Texas, 75001.